Cool.
DJ Metal Craig of Craig's Metal Storm here. I have one of the members of Crownshift with me today. Hey, how's it going? And would you like to introduce yourself and what position you do in the band?
Daniel Freiberg, guitars for Crownshift, and I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking.
I'd like to thank Kristen from Nuclear Blast Records for setting us up with this interview here over at Mangled Music Radio for Craig's Metal Storm before we get into the questions for the interview. And the first question of the interview is, please go back in the history of Crownshift and how the band all got started.
Sorry, can you repeat? I had a glitch.
Please go back in the history of Crownshift and how the band all got started.
So yeah, me, Heikki, and Jukka, we already have a history together playing in the same band called Norther. And back in 2011, when that band was gonna retire, we already then talked about that someday we should do something together. And it took a little while, but we had these lots of chats back and forth during the years. And we finally got Crownshift going. And along the way, we found Tommy, who's also an old buddy of mine, uh, doing the vocals. So it was kind of like a four friends reuniting. So yeah, pretty naturally.
How did you guys come up with the band name Crownshift?
Well, the band name, it's always tricky because you have to live with that with for the rest of your life. But I think the crown shift is pretty cool, and it fits to our current stage of career, if you will. And it symbolizes change of power or reaching new heights. And yeah, so it felt very fitting.
Cool. And just to let you know, while we got you on record, I am a musician myself. I have my own band that's been on a 19-year hiatus. I'm trying to get back going.
Okay, man. Well, I wish you all the best with your band, and
Yeah, my girlfriend does
hopefully
backing
that
vocals.
happens.
I hope it does too. My girlfriend does backing vocals in the band too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Who's all in the crown shift lineup and what instruments do they play?
Sorry, can you
Who's
repeat
all in
again?
the who's all in the crown shift lineup and what instruments do they play?
Oh, there's Jukka Koskinen doing bass. You may know him from Winter Sun and currently Nightwish. There's Heikki Saari doing drums, also known for Fintroll. And Tommy Tuovinen is doing the vocals, who's familiar from a band called Migraine. And then myself, I already introduced myself. So
Right,
yeah,
right on. Just so you know, I've heard of Fintroll, I've heard of Migrave, and I've heard of Nightwish. Nightwish is actually one of my girlfriend's favorite musical bands for gothic metal.
they're awesome. They're awesome.
Yeah, she's been a fan of them since the Terra era, but she still likes all the new stuff too.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Who designed the Crown Shift band logo?
It's a guy called Rami Mursula, uh, graphic designer here in Finland. So he's been done a lot of work to from bands like artists like Apocalyptica, Ville Valo, him. So that's how we, got in touch with him because one of my friends knew him, and we saw his work, and he did an outstanding job with the Crownshift logo, and he actually designed the whole cover art for the Crownshift debut album. So yeah, he's awesome.
That's funny. I was just going to ask you about the Crown Shift cover album art next, but I don't need to answer that now.
Right, you
It
already got
happens
it.
sometimes. What are the band's immediate music career goals?
Well, I think first trying to establish the band and just simply keep doing this as long as we can. And but right short term, not right now, we are focusing to live shows because we have our first live show tomorrow here in Helsinki at legendary Tavastia Club, and after that, a bunch of summer festivals. So short term, we're going to focus on live shows, and let's see what happens in fall and next year.
Okay, man. I hope you guys eventually come up to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada for a show, buddy.
I would love to. Canada has always treated me good.
How did you guys come up with the album title Crownshift?
I think it's pretty classic to self-title the album. That was the reason mainly, and yeah, there's not really much more story behind that than just it's just a classic move, I think, because one of my or many of my favorite albums are self-titled, and first, yeah, so yeah, that's that's about that.
I know how you feel about that, man. Some bands do the self-title thing for their first album, some don't. But a lot of the bands that I've listened to that are really killer and awesome follow up but for the first one with a self-title one, then they go into something that's a little more intense and unusual.
Yeah, maybe you're right, and I just felt that self-titled would be right this time. And actually, neither of us never had, I think, with any bands we've been involved, a self-titled album. So now we have checked that.
And if you're cool with it, can I get you to talk about my favorite song off the album that I thought was cool?
Absolutely.
What were the themes and concepts behind the song My Prison?
Well, it's about really my prison kind of refers your prison of your own mind and your own habits. So that's where it refers. But there's not really concepts behind the songs or any one concept or other. So they're like separate stories, all the songs. But yeah, there are some maybe similar themes in the lyrics, but each one is their own story, basically, or separate story.
Okay, I didn't know that. I just found that your album flowed really smooth and it was absolutely amazing that you guys did.
Oh, thank you, man.
My second favorite song off the album was the last track of the album, which was 10 minutes long.
Hmm.
Yeah. Who are
Okay.
the band's musical influences?
Well, that is a very, very long list. And yeah, maybe if I just throw a few well, I can only speak for myself, but personally, I like some of my old heroes still, like Alice Cooper, Steve Vai, Ozzy, Guns N' Roses, those classic rock artists, but also like Gothenburg metal, In Flames, Arch Enemy, Soilwork, and whatnot. It's always funny because every time somebody asks that, they kind of disappear in your head. It's hard to remember all the names. So I'm gonna just say what comes in my mind right now.
All good, man. And you can probably see I'm
Yeah.
wearing an Arch Enemy shirt right now.
What's that?
I'm wearing an Arch Enemy shirt right now as we're doing this interview.
Oh wow,
Yeah, I
cool,
actually saw them back a while ago here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, with a friend of mine because my girlfriend couldn't make it. She was in Calgary at the time. So I went with my buddy and he bought two of the tour shirts they had from that show.
awesome. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And this next one's a really good one and a bit of a stumper. Please give some guitar tips or advice for starting out guitarists.
Oh boy,
Okay,
just keep practicing. Um, I don't know. There's probably plenty of uh, other guys to give better tips than I have because I don't really have nobody really taught me, so I'm not that good teacher probably. So I don't know. But if you have the fire and desire, you'll find a way to learn the stuff you want, I think.
What advice do you have for people who want to form their own bands?
Pretty much similar. You have to have like a passion and fire for that because it's a tough road and can be a very brutal road also. So it's a lot of willpower if you really want to make it. I mean, if you just want a bad hobby or playing as a hobby, that's a little bit different game. Then it's depending on your goals, really.
Does the
But
band
just also don't forget to have fun. That's the essence of the whole playing.
I'm sorry about that, man. My thing had a lag there, and I thought you were finished the question, and you came back in.
Sorry.
I said earlier my system had a lag for a second on the Zoom, and the audio came back in as I was getting ready to ask you the next question by accident. I'm sorry for over talking.
Oh no, don't worry. No worries, man.
Okay. The next one's a really good one. Does the band have any band gear endorsements?
Yeah, we do actually quite many, which we are really grateful. I'm endorsed by ESP guitars, EMG pickups, Engel amps, Morningstar electronics, and DR strings. Okay, I'll try to remember the other guys. Jukka has Ibanez basses. I guess he has Dunlop deal or endorsement, and well, that's how far I remember his endorsement. Our drummer has Pearl, and what was that symbol he's using? I guess Sabian. Okay, now I'm gonna stop it. Remember that I don't say accidentally some brand that they are not endorsed. But
Okay, if you need to correct it in the YouTube channel, just post a message there and it'll show the corrected information.
okay,
Because this is going to go up on
sure.
YouTube after we're done the interview.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
We've got two more questions for the interview, and I'll need a couple of station IDs.
All right.
With Crownshift having come out on May 10th, where can them be ordered or purchased?
Through Nuclear Blast, for example. Then if you go to crownshift.com, crownshiftoffficial.com, there you find a link pretty much every channel and all over the world. So check that out.
And that leaves us with the last question I interview now. What new band news do you have on the Crownshift front, as in anything we might have missed so far in this interview?
Sorry, I didn't get the first part. Can you please repeat?
I said, what new band news do you have on the Crownshift front, as in anything we might have missed so far that hasn't been covered in this interview?
I think we have covered pretty much all the essential things, I'd say. So,
And that just leaves us with the station IDs. The first one goes, hey, this is Daniel of Crownshift, and you're listening to Mangled Music Radio.
Mangled Music Radio.
Yep, whenever you're ready.
Hey, this is Daniel from Crownshift, and you're listening Mangled Music Radio.
Cool, that's a keeper, man. And the second one is for Craig's Metal Storm. You can come up with whatever you want in that one.
What? Sorry.
Craig's Metal Storm. You can come up with whatever you want for the station ID. Like you can come up with something yourself to say for that ID.
Uh, just say what I need to repeat. That's easier.
Okay,
You know,
it's hey, this is Daniel of Crownshift, and you're listening to Craig's Metal Storm.
Greg's Metal Storm. Okay. This is Daniel from Crownshift, and you're listening to Greg's Metal Storm.
Cool. Thank you very much for your time, Daniel, and thank you very much for
Thank
listening.
you, man.
You have yourself a wonderful rest
Yeah.
of the night. Bye.
Bye.